one guy can do it. One guy can stay. One guy, nobody else can.
Adam, ideally, from a defensive perspective, if you have two high-end pass rushers at opposite sides as ends, obviously speaking of Quinn and Wake, how much should it help Cam this year in terms of how much blocking he sees volume?
I mean, I don't know what the percentages will be. I mean, we got to see how it's all going to play out. We like our rotation that we have. There's, I mean, legitimately 8 guys that we could roll in and out. It's just all going to be depending on inactives and how that's going to work out. But, you know, he's a good run defender. I mean, it's not that we want him to be off the field versus a run either. You know, I mean, we need to do a good job of making sure that we balance this thing out. It's like we want to find that fine line of we don't want 70 plays a game, but we don't get caught like we did in 16 when all of a sudden it was 15 plays a game.
With starting running back.
Depends what personnel grouping I'm in to start the game. Both going to play. Could be on the field at the same time. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. It's not something I'm losing sleep over.
That said, what went into the decision to list it as an or?
Just be an asshole.
To who? Cool?
I mean, both those guys, they both deserve to be on the field. And it's just, I mean, every game is different, you know. I like what both those guys bring to the table, and they work well together.
Have you been surprised at all with what you've seen out of Thor, or is it pretty much what you expected when he came in?
I'm not surprised. I mean, he's just been proving everybody wrong for so many years. You just never doubt that guy.
Having Gesicki listed as fifth string tight end, that just, you know, rookies having to earn their way, that's probably the order you're probably going to play them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, we go with the 3 wide receivers. I mean, I wouldn't look too deep into this depth chart. You know, I mean, with him, it's really, we got 2 different sets of tight ends. We got guys that are kind of, we call our Ys, and then a group that's the Fs. So, I mean, they're really like split in half. You only can put so many positions on there. So, I mean, I wouldn't look too much into the tight end thing.
What has kept John Denny around for so long?
The guy's in unbelievable physical condition. I think he is the ultimate pro. He knows how to work with other guys. I mean, and it's been a short period of time, but over the last 3 years, everybody that we've ever brought in from, if they're not with us during the season, they're just here in the spring, he does such a good job of helping those guys learn how to be professionals. Like, he takes a lot of pride in make sure, like you never hear about our guys being like quirky or different or anything as far as our kickers and punters. It's everybody kind of falls in line, and he does a good job of leading those guys and showing them the ropes and how to do things.
Adam, what's going to be the approach with Raekwon McMillan in preseason games? Does he get as many snaps as other starters, or do you think he might need a little bit more work?
We'll have those discussions here in the next few days. I mean, we kind of started throwing some ideas around, but we haven't put anything in. You know, nothing's in Sharpie yet.
With Marquise Gray, he's kind of been the one guy that's been consistently working with the starters when he's been healthy. What have you seen from him in year 3 in your system and year week 3 of training camp?
Well, I think mentally he's right where he wants to be, because it's more of he's reacting and not thinking. And when you first get thrown in at that position, there's a lot of things going on because you're involved in so much. You're working with different guys all the time, tackles, another tight end. You know, a receiver might have to come down. You're doing something, then you're doing pass protection, the routes. I mean, you have to be sharp. You know, you have to be able to pick things up. And I think the longer you're in one spot, it helps you as that type of player. And he's at that point in this offense to where he knows what to do. And now he's able to work on, okay, what's my technique? Physically, he's very strong. You know, he can move very well. So he's able to play 2 different positions for us, there's a lot of value there. And then him being one of our best special teams player, it brings that even, like right now with him as a starter, we're probably going to lose a little bit on special teams because he's going to play more snaps at tight end.
With that position, I mean, your base formation is 2 tight ends. How important is it to have inline?
It just depends what you're doing. I think we're mixing things up quite a bit, so we're trying to still get a feel for, okay, what are we going to pare it down to? I mean, we're doing a lot of different things right now just to keep throwing stuff at guys, keep them studying, keep them engaged. We don't want guys, being like, oh, we did the same thing again, get bored with it, So keep throwing things at them, and then once the season hits, we'll be able to pare it down and say, all right, here's our bread and butter. This is going to be our second-tier runs. And we always want to put as many guys as we can in the best position possible. And that position's one of those positions we have to look hard at to say, what can and can't we do?
Adam, at what point in the preseason do you, in your own mind, narrow it down and say, okay, it's this guy and this guy against each other for this last spot at this position?
Last week. I mean, it can go all the way to the wire. That's the competition part of it. That's why you want guys to just keep competing every day. You never want to have a guy feel relaxed and, hey, I got it. You don't want that mindset. Most guys don't have that mindset in this league, but you just keep competing every day. I mean, that's why every year we say the same thing. Like, nobody cares what you did last year. Nobody cares about how many years you've been in the league. It's a fresh start, and you got to go prove it all over again.
How much of what you do this time of the year with the depth chart, with reps, with taking guys in and out, has to do with managing entitlement and motivating and stuff like that?
I think we're trying to make sure we get the guys that don't know or that are new as many reps as possible, whether it be a rookie or a free agent that we brought in. And at the same time, we're trying to give guys opportunities to win jobs or compete for jobs. I mean, it's a fine line, with, the tight end position is a good one to look at. We've been moving those guys all around, and, when Durham's going with the threes and then all of a sudden the next period he's going with the ones, we know he needs to get used to going against Cam and Robert and William Hayes and Brandt. We need him to understand, like, it's going to be a little bit different when you start going against some of these guys that, either emphasize the pass rush or a good run defender. But at the same time, you don't want to just have 6 plays where it's a hard lesson to learn. So you want him to have success. You want him to go, kind of work his way up to that point. And it's tough to manage sometimes because, it's not always going to be perfect, but you're just trying to do the best job you can and make sure that everybody's kind of getting their shot.
Adam, you have a lot of depth, obviously, at receiver. Did the body of work of what you saw from the team last December and in the offseason and now make you think we have to get him on the field some, or is that not clear in your mind because you have so much depth?
I mean, we'll just kind of see how it plays out. I mean, he's going to have some kind of role. I mean, he did a lot of good stuff, and I'm a big fan of more receivers, the better.
Adam, Vez Calhoun, number 40, is a guy who seems to be around the ball a lot, 2 interceptions and the fumble return in practice recently. Have you noticed him more for the big plays or as much for his fundamentals?
When these guys are competing, after that first group, I think those kind of plays stand out because you notice it right at that moment. But that's where you have those personnel meetings and you sit down and you talk to the position coach and you talk to the coordinator. We get getting the personnel department in there, and a lot of times you'll see something like that. At least in the past, I'm just going off of, hey, this guy's made some of these flash plays. Well, he needs to get better at these 3 things because those can be detriment down the road. You're not always looking exactly at the outcome. You're going, all right, what's the big picture? What's I know favorite word, what's the process going to be? And that's really what we have to focus on. We can't just get caught up in, hey, we saw a couple of flash plays here. It's the consistency because that's what this league's about. It's all about consistency.
Adam, going back to the whole issue of starting, not starting, and all of that, do you think we make too much of it? Or
Yeah.
the coaches? And what about the average player? Does the average player care much about it?
None of them start. Whoever's on kickoff starts. Nobody says that, though. They should just put the kickoff and kickoff return team on the front of the game book.
Adam, there was, I think a week ago today, offensive line had a tough day. I remember you seemed agitated afterward. Has the line play improved your first group? Since then, where's your mindset?
It wasn't the first group, but we made a mistake on one of the sacks. The defense did a really good job on the first third down of they had everybody covered, and we just talked about when that happens, we just got to roll. Ryan, love to see him just run, get down, get the first, and we're good to go. It's the first group's been pretty good. We just got sometimes when we go some of these different protections. Everybody's got to be on the same page. We can't have any miscues there. With that, with what you see pressure-wise on third down, different fronts, we have to be really good at making sure everybody's assignment is correct. And when we get that locked down, we feel good about the talent we have and what those guys are able to do. And really, it's that chemistry. I feel like it's coming along well. We just have to tighten it up just a little more.
What is it you like about Rashawn Scott? What's it going to take for, I know that receiver room is just loaded with guys, for him to make this?
Well, I brought this up last week. He doesn't look around. He's not worried about anybody else but himself. And I've always appreciated that about him since he's been here, and he's a competitor. Right when you think he'll be back against the wall, and he finds a way to fight himself into the mix. And he's doing the same thing again. He's making big plays. He's not making mistakes. He's doing a really good job on special teams. He knows how to get to that level where all of a sudden now everybody's kind of talking about him, and now it's going to come down to, all right, how are we going to play in the preseason games?
How tough is that, do you think, for young players to block out the depth chart, the 53?
Guys will fail because of that. They get so hung up on counting what's going on. It's a long time from the starting training camp to the preseason games. And there's so much that can happen. I mean, we went through it last year when you lose some guys and all of a sudden the next guy's got to step up. That's why we focus on we have to get better, worry about doing your job the right way, because all of a sudden your number's called. You better know what to do because now there's your shot.
You mentioned Rashad and how he can kind of block and fight through all that. Is that rare or is that common, or where would you?
I'd say it's closer to rare than common. I think the guys that you want to try to find as many of those guys as you can, because you have to talk to guys sometimes and hey, this is a starting point. It doesn't mean anything about the last day. So that has to be our point of emphasis.
How many conversations like that have you had the last 3 weeks?
None. These guys don't. They just work. This group, it's fun to coach these guys. It's meetings on the field. These guys don't complain. They just put their head down and they grind.
All right, thanks, guys.